I have gaps in my memory. So what happens after the wall art was painted over?
I think the relationship between Paul, I mean, obviously Ellie is behind it, and Aster kind of like developed, and Paul in the meantime was pushing for a real date and meeting, so they actually met in a place, and obviously the first time this dude on a date with a girl that he barely
How'd that
knew.
go? Yeah, as if he was opposite you, would you just be all hot and bothered by him? Like,
For
damn,
sure, I
he
hugged
can't say one word correct. This dude's hot.
yeah, actually, I thought that was very cute and hot. But
It was so awkward.
It straight up reminded me of, you know what's weird is like I had two girlfriends before I had like real official dates. My first real official date, I was fucking Paul. I was like, oh, it hurts. It hurts to see you like this, Paul.
I was just like sinking lower and lower. I was like, no.
it was the disaster date because Aster had another image of Paul in her mind,
Yeah,
and
because
Cause
Ellie and
all
Paul are totally different people.
Yeah, and
yeah,
all Esther knows is what she's been getting through the letters and the ghost messages, right?
yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
So
then
that
Ellie ends
But
up getting Aster's. This is a plot point. I'll just say it really quickly. Aster ends up getting Ellie's like ghost phone number so that they could privately message each other, and she's doing that to help Paul. You know, it's she's not doing it
Mhm.
behind his back. Paul knows what's up, and
yeah.
Yeah.
you know, he just not good with words again. So
Mhm.
all right, so
And
they're on this date. Yaz thinks Paul is
which
hot.
Ellie is listening into through Paul's phone and
And
sitting in the truck outside the diner.
Right, just like fucking, like, what are you doing?
yes, Nazis. And what? Fuck.
It's so great.
And he
Yeah,
just keeps on like drinking that milkshake, just doesn't know what to do. He was like super confident too, like, it's a date. I got it.
It's just hanging out. And
Yeah.
Ellie's just like, what is
And
hanging
he was
out?
like, it's not going to be a book report. And the first thing Aster does is like push a book across the table, right? When they sit down for their
Is that when
date.
he says I like Nazis?
yes.
Like, some shit like that. It's so awkward. Yeah.
And she's like, oh, okay.
She's obviously confused, right? But, you know.
Yeah, yeah, he gets confused by the book because Ellie was like coaching him on things to say and like different books and movies, and he just blurts something out that he doesn't mean.
Oh my god.
Terrible.
It was so funny.
It was
Like
so funny.
terrible but hilarious.
Yeah.
What's up,
It
Yes?
was hilarious. It was hilarious. And again, if that dude was in front of me, I would just jump and hug her and sorry, jump him and jump and
You would
hug
jump him? You would jump his bones, Yaz? That did it for you?
Oh.
When he said he likes Nazis, you were like, oh, shit.
him. Before he mentions the Nazis word, prior to that, everything he was doing, he was just struggling to make a conversation. And in this scene, we learn actually that he has the actual problem with like initiating a meaningful conversation. So that's why later on, we will see Ellie has now to coach Paul how to guide a conversation with another person. And they are doing that by like playing a ping pong. And what Ellie tries to do in this scene is just to use the ping pong as a metaphor that how two people should like basically hand each other out the ball or the thread of thoughts in order to form a meaningful conversation. And the first thing Paul did was like that hit the ball, smash the ball so hard.
He just
Yeah.
rocketed.
Yeah. So
Definitely.
I love a lot of details about this movie. And for example, the ping pong shot was just like something cute, a nice detail, and
And I love the dynamic between the two. First of all,
Mhm.
he's super tall, right? The contrast is he's super tall, she's super short. He's white, she's Asian. He's smart, she's smart, he's not necessarily smart, right? And then I was like leading up to this to bring the ultimate contrast, and I forgot what that was because my brain hit a pothole. So I'm
Okay.
with Paul, basically. I'm on his
You're
level.
Paul.
But I love that dynamic because, like, even though she's like this tiny girl, like she talks to him, like you like the alpha. Basically, she is the alpha in that relationship, in that dynamic between her and Paul. And I loved, like, I'm a big fan of like training montages and like fight movies and stuff, like Rocky and stuff, punching meat, jogging and stuff. And we get a little bit of that there because, like Yaz was saying, there's like ping pong conversational training, right? Paul is always running, which becomes a secondary or a thirdary story.
He's running after her, Ellie, as she's riding her bike.
Yeah, Ellie's always biking everywhere, and so Paul's always chasing. That pays off later on in the movie, but
Yeah.
but
I really love these scenes after the awkward first date with Paul and Aster when you really see Ellie and Paul's friendship start to deepen, and it's
deepen
really
and
cute.
grow and become real and genuine. There were so many moments that I liked. I'll tell you one, and then Yaz, tell me one. One of my favorite scenes was Ellie writing a song and playing guitar in a room. It just so happens that Paul works across the street, and one night after taking out the garbage, he looks up at Ellie's window, and he just has a genuine smile about how talented his friend is and how beautiful this song that he hears coming out of the window from her. And he has this just look, that just like melted me, so it's like situations like that. And then also like why don't you tell me one? I don't want to hog it. So
One thing that I love about the whole relationship of Paul and Ellie is that, yeah, we know that they kind of now grow a deeper relationship with each other and they care for each other more, not on necessarily on a lover perspective, but more like a deeper friendship. And we understand that by how Paul is caring for kind of Ellie's dad because we know that he is good with like food and cooking food. So actually, one day he opened the spice cabinets in Ellie's house, and he found out about that they are using some Chinese spices.
five
And
spice.
yeah, and he drove like I don't know how many hours, a very long distance, to get like some Asian grocery for them. And he was also showing compassion toward Ellie's father, which is like very nice. So those moments were my favorite scenes also that I really like. Oh, it's
I
so
like
cute.
Ellie's father too. Like
Yeah.
I didn't watch it so I have no idea what the hell he was talking about because he was speaking in Chinese.
Oh, you didn't have the subtitles on?
No, I ran through it. I was like, I don't need it. I get the gist. But I don't know exactly what he was saying, other than the fact that I recognize him from The Matrix.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, yeah, do kung fu now, please. But
Yeah.
it's not that type of movie. But I thought he was like super cute. I love, how like he was a little wary at Paul. At first, like, who is this dude? Yeah, it's not like Paul's like home life was that great. That like I guess he had a huge family and it's just chaotic and stuff. Not saying it's a bad family. It's just chaotic. That's how they ended up at Ellie's house with her father one night, and it just became a thing. Paul ended up going like every night to like watch some classic movie with Ellie and her father, which is
Fitting.
which is a weird
It was-
dynamic.
Yeah.
So great.
And you see him too, like Ellie's father's like trying to make like dumpling stuffings or something like that, or the dough, and you see
I
Paul
love that scene
just like trying to keep up.
together.
It's so adorable. And another one of my another favorite shot, which is also another seed for another scene in the movie, is that one time Paul were watching this movie about a guy chasing a girl on a train. Um,
Ah,
Yeah. So
Yeah,
and
yeah. And what is Sarah? What was Ellie's reaction? Because Paul thinks it's cool and romantic, right?
yeah.
But Ellie was like, "They're morons."
Yeah, the guy is moron. Why he's doing that? He can never
You can't outrun a train.
yeah, you can never outrun a train, and you are basically tiring yourself. But Paul responded, "No, the girl is looks happy. She looks happy." And Ellie responded, "So the girl is also a moron too, for being happy to
Right.
see her ex or her boyfriend is chasing a train just to say goodbye or
Yeah,
something
and
like."
that's like the micro version of their mentalities, right?
Mhm.
Off
Yeah.
that scene, you can learn that Ellie's kind of like a results person, right? Like, what is this going to achieve? Nothing. It's stupid. And Paul is like a efforts person, right? You know, like yeah, I might not be able to catch up, but this effort shows how much I care, sort of thing. You know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just
And some of my favorite parts of this movie are, and especially this part of the movie we're talking about, is like when Ellie starts to realize that like Paul is a really caring person. Um, and like there were two moments that really stood out for me in this part where when the asshole kids from her school were driving by in the truck and were like choo choo making fun of her. And then Paul was like, "Oh, idiots, like is that the
oh, yeah, like he threw something at the truck, right?
yeah, he threw something at them. He was like, "Why are you being such idiots?
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
so stupid." And
yeah,
Ellie was just kind of like, "Oh, he's like defending me."
yeah.
Yeah.
And then
And then there was another part where they were which part was it? They were in his truck and Ellie was like got mad about something and was about to leave and was like, "You don't get anything at all."
Because he was asking her like a personal question, you know,
Oh
and she
yeah,
was so
yeah, he was
uncomfortable, and she got upset, you know. So she was storming out. She like got out of the truck and was like, "You're not gonna take this stick out seriously," because they were like spying on Aster, right? So she was like, "If you're not gonna take this seriously, right? Then, you know, like." So as she's like trying to rush away in order to get Ellie's attention and get her back in the truck, he divulges, right, and opens up to her, right? You're talking about that
he
moment,
divulges
right?
stuff about like his family business and like the sausage and
The sausage.
sausage. Yeah, and how he wants to change the recipe, but he doesn't want to because he knows it'll like break his mother's heart.
Yeah.
This is
Right.
grandma's
But it's a
recipe.
pickle because like they're stagnant, their business is stagnant. So it's like the mother at least still gets to make the classic recipe which he loves to do, but at the same time their business is failing, you know, so it's this like I don't want to mention
Yeah.
all these new ideas I have because I don't want to rock the boat, but at the same time we're going to lose this place, but at the same time mom's happy. So
Yeah, and then I think Ellie really realizes that even though Paul's not very eloquent, he's actually he's very empathetic and good at understanding other people's
yeah,
feelings.
definitely EQ off the charts, right? Please feel free to like and subscribe. Ask these people.
Yeah, hit
Yeah.
that button. We want to hear from you.
It's so easy. And you will not get disappointed.
Yes.
Please cut that last part.